Okay, good evening everyone. Good evening everyone. Give me a confirmation if you guys can hear me. Good evening everyone. Give me a confirmation please if you guys can hear me. Can you guys hear me? Please give me a confirmation. Am I audible to everyone? Please give me a confirmation. Awesome. So good evening to everyone and welcome to this 3 days workshop. Okay, that has been in association with your college and as well as from DevTown itself, right? So how are you and how you all doing? Come on, tell me. How are you all guys? Come on, tell me. Awesome. Okay, cool. Okay. Okay, nice. So in today's session, we are going to discuss about machine learning. This entire boot camp or this entire workshop is dedicatedly for machine learning. Okay. Now, in these 3 days, we are going to understand why exactly current scenario, if we take the current scenario in account, today you can see machine learning, anything that related with data science and everything is going to get a high hype, right? So during this 3 days of workshop, we are going to understand about machine learning, what is this necessity and how exactly machine learning came into an existence. Then after that, in the day two, we are going to start with the theoretical concept of, we are going to take one machine learning model and we're going to understand depth about that model. And in that last day, we are going to go with the practical implementation of that model. Okay. So this is how we are going to go ahead with this entire 3 days. Okay. Obviously, it is absolutely not possible to cover the entire machine learning during this 3 days, consuming only 1 hours. But still, we are going to try to make the most out of this session and this time so that we at least get some idea how exactly machine learning works and what all we need to have in order to go beyond the scope of machine learning and data science. Okay. Now, before starting up this entire session, I want to know what you guys know about machine learning. I want to know what you all guys know about machine learning. What machine learning mean to you? If I say describe machine learning in your layman terms or in your own words, how exactly you're going to describe it? Come on. How will you gonna describe machine learning? Okay, okay, cool. So now let's see what exactly is the need of machine learning, right? So you must have heard about the term known as data science. Okay, let's move on to the Jamboard to understand all the thing very clearly. Let's talk about the term data science. Okay, now this term or this field has got a hot topic currently these days, right? Everywhere you see, people are discovering some new technologies that has been related with data science. They are inventing some new process. They are developing some new product, having some higher accuracy, and everything that revolves around is related to data science itself, right? Now let's understand what exactly is the data science. Now, in a very layman term, it's the science about the data. Okay, in a very simple term, it's a science about the data. In data science, we use the data and we process the data so that we can grab a lot of information so that we can turn it into some opportunities. Okay, we can create some website, we can create some different products that will be really helpful and that will be based on data. Okay, and in data science, we have different subdomains. Okay, We have data analysis, we have machine learning, we have deep learning. Let me write it over here. We have data analysis, we have machine learning, we have deep learning, we have cloud computing, we have full stack, okay, and lot more. Okay, so these are the subdomains of data science. If you say that I want to be a data scientist, right, so you need to master in all these domains. These are just the few domains that I am telling you. Okay, now among all this domain, there is one domain known as a machine learning, which we are going to talk about in this session. Okay, till here it's clear? Till here it's clear? Yes or no? Give me a confirmation. Till here is it clear? No confusion, right? Okay, cool. Now, what exactly is the need of machine learning? How exactly this process starts? So earlier what happened is that whenever we do anything, right, we generate a form of data. Okay, and data is very important for doing all the other investigation, to grab some information, to reach out to a certain point of conclusion, right? Suppose if you are using WhatsApp, right? So what happened is the company Facebook or Meta is no, it's focusing on your data, and your application, that is a WhatsApp application, is generating data, hourly basis, weekly basis, or monthly basis, and so on and so forth, right? In that data, with the help of that data, the company understand the user experience, how exactly the user, how much time user spends their time on WhatsApp. If you are going to introduce a new product, will it going to be successful or not? So data is very, very important, right? So machine learning is all about the prediction. Okay, machine learning is all about the prediction. Okay, when you want to predict something based on your past and present data, in that role machine learning came into existence. Okay, and data analysis comes under the role when you want to find out some insight from the current and present data. Okay, data analysis never tells you about future, okay, whereas machine learning tells you more about future. Okay, that's the difference between data analysis and machine learning. And deep learning, cloud computing, full stack is the higher concept that we are not going to touch in this entire session. Okay, till here is it clear? Yes or no? Till here is it clear? Yes or no? Come on, give me a confirmation, guys, please. Awesome, cool. Now we need to understand, we have the data, and how exactly machine learning is helping us to achieve something. Okay, first of all, you need to understand these two terminologies, that is your data and another being your information. Okay, information. Now people says the data is an information. People says that data is an information. If you ask someone what exactly is data and define data, they tell that data is information. Okay, do you agree on this? Do you guys agree on this, that data is information? Come on, tell me. Come on, tell me. Do you agree that data is information? Is this fact true? Come on. See, data, there's a huge difference between data and information. Okay, now let me give you an example. Let's suppose I'm having some woods. I'm having some woods. Let me write it over here. I am having some woods with me. Okay, and with the help of this wood, I am going to create or build a, let's say, a furniture. Okay, let's say a furniture, we have build a chair. Okay, a wooden chair. Let's say we have created a chair, right? Now this is a wood. Can I say that this is a wood as well and this is a chair as well? Can I say that this wood is wood as well and chair as well at the same time? Can I say that? Come on. Can I say that this wood is wood as well and the chair as well at the same time? Come on. No, right? I can only call this as a wood. I cannot call this as a chair, right? But at the same time, if you look onto this scenario where we have a wooden chair, at the same time I can call this chair as a chair as well, and I can call this as a wood as well. Yes or no? I can call this as a wood as well, and I can call this as a chair, right? So that's the difference between a wood and a chair. That's the difference between a data and information, right? Data, this is data. Okay, this is data. Data cannot be called as an information, right? You get a lot of data. Suppose if you are having 100% of a data, in that particular 100% of a data, only let's suppose 50% or 60% is your information. Other than that is might be your waste or might be or not your requirement, right? That's why we often use the term as raw data. Okay, you might have heard about this term known as raw data. Okay, information is the useful insights that you can grab from that data, right? If suppose someone gives you 100% of data, you grab some those data that are necessary for your product, that is necessary for your analysis. So those are known as the information, right? And that information can also call as an information and the data at the same time, but data cannot be called as an information. Is this clear to everyone? Yes or no? Is this clear to everyone? Yes or no? Okay. Okay. So that's the difference between data and your information. Now the thing is that why we are focusing on data science? Why you are focusing on machine learning all of a sudden? The reason being is that during the earlier days when we don't have that records, right? Earlier, how we exactly we have a file system, right? All the folders, all the data that we keep is in a paper format or in the file format that we keep, right? But nowadays, as we're evolving, we are having everything, we are moving everything into a digital concept, right? We have everything as an electronic, we have electronic DB, we have a lot of stuff. So now what happened is that as the number of applications are increasing, as the number of technologies are getting wider and wider, at the same time data is also increasing. Okay, your data is also increasing. Are you getting this? Are you guys getting this? Yes or no? Okay, am I audible to you guys? Am I audible to you guys? Yes or no? Give me a confirmation if you guys can hear me. Am I audible to you guys? Please give me a confirmation. Let me check this. I think now it will be better, right? Cool, awesome. So now as we are going towards like we are evolving, right? We have a different technologies, we have different stuffs, like we have IoT device, we have mobile applications, we have web applications, we have different applications, right? Now the thing is that each application generates some sort of data. Okay, each application generates some sort of data, and if you see the chart, the number of data is increasing exponentially. Okay, the number of data is increasing exponentially as we are going towards, right? So before it was very less, but nowadays it is humongous, right? And to store that humongous data, we need to have a particular storage, because if you don't have a storage, you cannot start with analysis, right? If you don't store your food, you cannot eat your food later. Are you getting this? If you don't store your food, you cannot eat your food later. The same way, if you want to analyze the data, if you want to grab some information from the data, you need to store the data at a particular format, at a particular file, right? So for this part, we have some lot of databases, we have a lot of cloud computing softwares, we have the data centers to store all sort of data. Now to grab all this information, we have to make sure that we have the data, but how exactly we can use this data, right? How exactly we can use this data? Earlier what was happening that when a human has created machine only operates on the human instructions. Okay, So if a human wants the machine to do certain tasks, they have to instruct the machine, right? Machine cannot think of anything to do anything by themselves, right? But nowadays you might have heard about the term smart, right? We have smart devices, we have smartphones, and so on and so forth, where machine is capable to understand how to take certain decision at certain points, right? Even though if the user is not active, if the user is don't want to give the command, still the machine will going to understand the different scenario. If you might have heard about the functionality of adapted brightness, okay, you might have heard about the functionality in your phone or in your smartphone known as the adaptive brightness. So what exactly happens is that your machine or your phone automatically detects your environment, and according to that it will going to set the brightness, right? If your environment is dark, so it will going to increase the brightness or lower the brightness, or if you add the place where it is unable to see the screen, automatically your phone will going to make the brightness higher, right? So in this scenario, what we do is we give the data to the machine, and machine will going to learn from that data. Machine will going to train itself, machine will going to test itself whether it's the result is being accurate or not. Okay, likewise, that whenever we go to a school, right, what happen is that first the teacher will going to teach us, right? Teacher will going to teach us some concepts, right? If you're in a school or in a college, first teacher will going to tell us that this is something this, or what exactly is machine, what is machine learning, so on and so forth, right? And then the examination is being taken, right? Then the examination is being taken, right? Between these two phases there is a preparation phase. Between these two phases you always have a preparation phase. Now what happen is, you know that your examination is going to come up. Let's suppose, for example, maths examination, right? You have a maths exam in a week. So what you do, you start preparing about or doing all the solutions, you do all the problems, you find all the different parts and all that, right? So how exactly you try to prepare? You take a question, right? You try to solve it, right? Now if you are getting the positive result, that means if you are getting the answer correct, that means you are getting a high confidence that this question needs to be done in this way, right? But what will going to happen if you are getting a wrong answer? Will you want to stop that question at that particular point of time? No, right? You will going to understand what went wrong, you will going to understand from your own mistakes, and then in the next time when a certain question or a similar question appears, you will be aware that earlier I have used this technique and I am getting a wrong answer, right? I was getting a wrong answer, but this time I'm going to use a very different technique which will going to help me out to achieve a proper solution to that way. This is the entire concept of machine learning itself. Okay, so machine will going to train itself based on the previous data. Okay, and it will going to predict out what will going to happen in the future. Okay, let's say for an example, we have a weather data. Okay, so weather predicts that on Sunday it was a rainy season. It was rain. Okay, the weather was rainy, right? On Monday it was sunny. On Tuesday it was again rainy. On Wednesday it was again rainy. On Thursday again it was rainy. On Friday it was sunny. Okay, now based on all this data you need to predict that what will be the weather on Saturday. Now see this, based on these data you need to predict what will be the weather on Saturday. Okay, now when we say on Saturday, it means we are talking about the future, right? We don't know what will going to happen on Saturday and we have to predict, right? So the word predict, when we say predict, the word predict is associated with the word probability, right? You must have heard about the term probability, right? You must know what is probability, yes or no? Yes or no? Do you guys know about probability? You must have studied probability in engineering mathematics or during your school time as well. Yes or no? Okay. Is this clear? Cool. So now when we say probability, it doesn't mean that it will going to occur, okay, or it will going to happen, right? Probability ranges from 0 to 1, where it is totally uncertain. Probability means is uncertainty, that it is absolutely uncertain where the event will going to occur or where it will not going to occur, right? Probability means the amount of confident you are that this event will going to occur or not, okay? Probability never says with a 100% of probability that this will going to occur or not, or with the 100% of confidence, right? Similar thing we apply in the machine learning. So probability plays a very vital role and crucial role in the field of machine learning, okay? Now when we say you need to predict what will going to happen on Saturday, right? This is a prediction, right? If you say that based on this data on Saturday there will be, the weather will be raining, right? So it is not 100% that the weather will be rainy only, right? It is a probability. That means there's a high chance of being the weather as the rainy, but it can be sunny as well, right? So this is the case that we use into account of machine learning, right? When we use a machine learning to predict out something, machine learning will going to tell us that there's a these many chances, okay, that this event will going to occur, it will not going to occur, but it doesn't guarantee you that it will going to form that particular action or not. Is this clear? Is this clear? Yes or no? Okay. Okay, let's talk about the probability. Okay, you must have heard about probability, and if, those who don't know about probability, let's discuss about this. Now, probability is the term that we use that, to associate with a chance. Okay. Now, let's suppose you toss a coin. Okay. Now, in a coin, what will be the outcome? You can only get one outcome among the two outcomes, whether it will going to get a head or you will going to get a tail, right? You cannot get anything other than these two, right? You can either get a tail or you can get a head, right? Now what exactly is the chance that you are going to get a head, and what exactly is the chance of you are going to get a tail? That is known as a probability. If I say that if someone is tossing a coin, there are some percent of chance that it will be a head or it will be a tail, right? So what exactly is that percent of chances that a person will going to get a head or tail? That is known as a probability, right? So there will be a 50-50% of chance whether it will be a head or it will be a tail. But probability doesn't guarantee that it will going to occur in that particular manner. If I say, if someone is tossing a coin, if I say that there's a 100% probability that the tail will be at the top, it is absolutely wrong, right? It is absolutely wrong, because this is an uncertain event. You are not sure whether it will be a head or it will be a tail. So there will be a 50% chance. So the 50% chance it could be a head, or 50% chance this could be a tail, right? So the probability plays a very, very vital role in the field of machine learning, okay? Another scenario of machine learning is to train the machine to learn from itself, right? So earlier what happens is, during the initial days when we have started creating robots, we have started creating some machines. So that machine needs to have a human influence. That machine needs to have a human influence. Until and unless human operates those machine, that machine cannot work itself, right? So what we do is, we have thought to make the machine, we have to make the machine in an advanced manner, so that even though if the human is not present, machine can improve itself from time to time, right? So we have taken the inspiration from the human behavior, okay? We have taken the inspiration from the human behavior, how exactly human mind learns, right? So let's suppose, for an example, there is a toddler or there is a baby, right? Obviously baby doesn't know how to write ABC, they doesn't know about machine learning, so on and so forth, right? You will going to teach that baby that what exactly are the alphabets and how exactly A, B and C has been written, right? Let's suppose you are teaching the toddler that A is been written in this way, okay? This is A, right? Do you think that on the first time when the baby will going to try to write the letter A, will it be accurate? Will it be accurate? Come on, tell me. For the first time, when the baby will going to try to write the letter A, do you think will that be an accurate A? Come on. No, right? It might happen the baby will, if you tell the baby, hey, you need to write the letter A. So might happen the baby will going to draw A like this. It can happen, right? This is not A. This is not A, right? Now what will going to happen? You will going to tell the baby, no, this is not A. You have to write A like this, right? So what will going to happen is, now there a picture in there's a picture will be created in baby's mind that this is not A, this is actually A, right? And if you're doing this is absolutely wrong. That means you are not getting benefited. This is absolutely wrong. You are not getting benefited. So for the next time you're going to ask the baby to write A, it will not going to exactly be the correct A, but it will be a better A than the before A, right? It might be A like this, right? Which will be a better A than their before or previous attempt, right? This is the scenario how we learn, right? So if you remember the first time when we have learned to ride a bike, right, or a bicycle, obviously on the first go we haven't learned to ride a bicycle. We were using the trainers training cycles or training wheels, right? On the first go we have fallen a lot of time, right? But what happened that as we are learning and as we are practicing, our mind has a stable control on making the balance, right? This is a similar scenario that we have taken and we have taken inspiration for, and we have used this method in machine learning. Now what will going to happen is that we are going to give some data to a machine. Machine will going to act accordingly with a different situation, okay? And then it will going to observe the result. If the result is good, right, so then machine will going to take it as you can call this as a profit, okay? And we're going to go forward with the same account. If the machine feels that their outcomes is not as good, machine will going to try out some different scenarios, okay? Some different scenarios, some different real examples to make that outcome a beneficial outcome, okay? That approach has been used in machine learning, okay? So these are all the theoretical stuffs, that how exactly machine learning, what exactly is a machine learning, why machine learning is in so trend, because the data is increasing and data will never going to get low, okay? It will automatically going to exponentially increase, right? So if this is the high time to understand about the machine learning, how you need to work in the firm with the help of data analysis, how you can use the big data to capture a huge amount of data, and so on and so forth, right? Now understand how you can start with machine learning. What are the prerequisites to start with machine learning? If I want to start with machine learning, what exactly I should know before jumping onto this concept, right? So let's move on and understand what are some prerequisites to understand about machine learning. First of all, to start with machine learning, you need to understand about a programming language, okay? Because you're working with your machine, you're working with your computer, and you're interacting with your computer, so you need to learn a programming language, right? That means that if I want to live in Japan, let's suppose currently I'm in India, I want to live in Japan, right? To survive there, I need to first learn their language. I first need to learn about Japanese, right? If I don't know Japanese, I cannot survive with the normal Hindi there. Yes or no? Are you getting my point? Right? If I want to get a job, if I want to work at any stores and so on and so forth, first of all, I need to understand about their language or their cultural language, because due to that, I can easily communicate with all the people out there, right? Similarly, in the machine, whenever you want to start working with the computers, right? Whether it will be a machine learning, or you want to make a website, you want to make a mobile application, you want to make a web scraper, automation, so on and so forth. First of all, you need to understand a programming language so that you can interact with your computer and your computer can interact with you at the same point of time, right? So in order to go with the machine learning, you need to learn about a programming language, and I suggest you to go with Python, okay? You need to understand about Python programming language. Okay, you don't need to go into the hardcore understanding of how exactly Python works and so on and so forth. You need to understand various concepts such as what are the data structures, what are the data types, how exactly loops work, conditional statement works, some advanced concept of list comprehensions or set comprehension, dictionary comprehensions, and the function, how exactly function works, how exactly the OOP concept has been carried out, and the file system. So these are some of the concepts of Python programming language that are necessary to jump onto the machine learning. Indeed, there are various other concepts that are necessary, but starting at the beginner level, these are the basic concepts that you can start off with right now. Okay. Then when you are done with your Python, okay, when you are done with all your Python programming language, and now you know how you can interact with a machine and how you can create a simple programs. Now you need to jump and learn about the data analysis, right? And before understanding the data analysis, you should know about the database. Okay, you should know about the database, how exactly the database architecture work, and how exactly you can interact with the database. Okay, so if you want to start with MySQL. Okay, and you need to understand about the CRUD operation. Okay, the beauty of a database is that the concept of database remain 90% same, even though if you move on to some different DBMS, or you can use some different query language as well, right? If you're using structured query language, that is your SQL, right? The concept that you have learned using the SQL and the concept that you have learned using the DBMS of MySQL will be 90% remain be the same if you're operating some different DBMS such as MongoDB or Redis, or you can go with Cassandra and so on and so forth, right? So in any database, you need to know about the CRUD operation. The CRUD operation stands for create, read, update, and delete, right? In updation, you can perform alternation, you can perform the modification, adding the columns, adding the names, adding the fields, so on and so forth. So when you are done with the database, now you need to move towards the data analysis phase. Okay. Now in this phase, you need to, this phase will going to give you a brief introduction about the data, how you find out the insights, and what more you can achieve. Okay. With the help of this data analysis, you can also jump onto the business analytics as well, right? With certain data, you can study the business, you can make some insight that what we are doing wrong and what the company needs to be done in the future part, and how they can increase their shares and so on and so forth. So to understand about the data analysis, you need to learn about some of these libraries of Python that is known as NumPy, Pandas, Matplotlib, and Seaborn, and RE. Okay, so Matplotlib and Seaborn are the part of data visualization, how you can visualize the data, right? So whenever you deal with the data, let's suppose you are an engineer, right? You are writing certain form of codes and so on and so forth and explaining. Now you have to explain to a person who doesn't know anything about computer. Okay, you have to explain your analysis, you have to explain your insight to those person who doesn't have any no any knowledge of computers. So in that manner, you cannot show that person about the code. Let's see, this is my code and I have written this, and so on and so forth analysis has been performed, and I found out these insight, right? You cannot do that. So to simplify this, what you do is you visualize your data, because understanding the data in the visualization form is way more easier, right? So for the data visualization, we use Seaborn and Matplotlib. Okay. Now in data analysis, there are 4 parts. That is data manipulation, data exploration, data cleaning, and data visualization. Pandas and RE will going to help you out to perform with data manipulation and data cleaning and data exploration as well. Okay, because these are the most powerful libraries and modules. Pandas is your Python library, and RE is your Python module that will going to help you in the data cleaning. Then we have the NumPy. Okay, so Pandas is based on NumPy. NumPy is the full form of NumPy is your numerical Python. Over here we use NumPy to work with all kind of mathematical operations and all kind of numbers and mathematics. So you need to make sure that whenever you dive into the field of data science, mathematics plays a very crucial role. Okay, So the beauty of data science is that it doesn't matter from which field you are, you can easily start with data science. But there is only one constraint, that you need to love maths. Okay, you doesn't belong to a BTech field. You can still start with deep learning, machine learning, or data science domain, right? If you're not from engineering background, you can still start with data science. If you're not familiar with computer, you can still start with data science. But if you don't like maths, or if you don't have a basic knowledge of mathematics, it will be very difficult for you to start with data analysis or machine learning and deep learning, because it is all about mathematics. It is all about statistics. Okay, is it clear? Till here, is it clear? Yes or no? Is this clear to all of you till here? Yes or no? Perfect. So then, after learning about the data analysis, you need to learn about statistics. You need to learn about statistics, and believe me, this is the most crucial topic that you need to learn in order to start with machine learning. Okay, if you don't know statistics, then doing machine learning doesn't means or doesn't makes any sense. Okay, because all the concept of statistics will be followed up in machine learning. Okay, now, when you're done with all of these part, then you can start with your machine learning. Okay, so starting with the machine learning, you need to have the information, you need to have the idea, you need to have the knowledge of all this part. You need to have how to program in Python programming language, because that you will be using while programming your machine in machine learning. Okay, you need to learn about the database, because whenever you are using performing some data analysis on a data, the sources might be different. It could be a CSV file, it could be a JSON file. The data might come from your SQL database directly itself. So you need to understand about the entire architecture of database, right? Data analysis is very important, because if you're jumping toward machine learning without data analysis, then there is no mean of doing that, because generally your data, the data that we get is a raw data. And when we say raw data, it means that data has a lot of faults. Data is unclean. So in this phase of data analysis, we make sure that we clean our data, because if the data will be not clean, doing machine learning will going to result in achieving a very low accuracy. Okay, machine learning is the game of accuracy only. Okay, in machine learning, we train a model and we try to gain maximum accuracy in machine learning. Okay, and this accuracy is dependent upon one of the factor known as the data, and data needs to be clean. When I say data needs to be clean, it means that it should be null free. Data should not contain any null part. Data should not contain any different data associated with a column. That means if a column name is age, right, all the data that will be entered in that column will be a number only, right? It will be 14 or 15 or so on and so forth, because age can associated with that number only. You need to make sure that the data that has been entered to the describe or prescribed column should be related to that. If suppose I am having a column as age, can I write 15.3 over there? Can I write 15.3 in the age column? Obviously not, because age cannot be in a floating value. It cannot be a floating value, right? If someone asks you how old are you, you will going to direct say you are 24 years of old, you are 23 years old. You will not going to say that I'm 23.58690 years old. Yes or no? Right? Okay. So these are the methods of doing the data cleaning, and 70% of the time a data analyst consume to clean the data. Okay, believe me that machine learning is a 5-minute task, guys. Machine learning, doing the programming of machine learning is just a 5-minute task, right? Because in Python we have a huge liberty to use different libraries. Okay, and due to this, everything has been done for you. You can go, you have to go and start writing the code, and in 1 or 2 line of code you can start with machine learning. So to do that, you need to make sure you achieve all this part. You need to achieve all this part in order to start with your machine learning. Okay, till here is it clear? Till here is it clear? Yes or no? Come on, Till here, is it clear? Yes or no? Perfect. Now let's understand what are the different types of machine learning we have and what we are going to see in the upcoming days. Okay, so let's go on to the next part. Over here we are going to describe about types of machine learning. Okay, so we are going to talk about the types of machine learning. So we have three types of machine learning. Okay, let me do this and this. Okay, we do have three types of machine learning. The first one is supervised machine learning, or you can call this as supervised learning as well. The another one is unsupervised machine learning. Okay, let me make this as learning itself. Can you guys guess the last type of machine learning? Anyone? Anyone? Come on. Can you guess the last type of machine learning? Okay, so it's the reinforcement learning. Let me write over here. Reinforcement learning. So these are the three types of machine learning. Okay, now which type you need to start with, which model you need to start with, depend upon the data. The data will going to tell you whether you need to go with a supervised learning, whether you need to go with unsupervised learning, or you need to go with your reinforcement learning. Okay, now generally what happen is that currently these days all the data is been stored in a form of a database, right? All the data has been stored in a database, and in a database we have different tables. In a database we have different tables, and if you see the structure of a table, you will going to find out the structure of a table is rows and columns. Yes or no? When we say tables, table is in this form, right? And in a table you have two things. First of all, you have rows, right? And then you have column. Okay, now we have rows and columns, right? So generally what we do is we get a data in a form of rows and column only. Okay, it can be a JSON data, it can be a SQL data, it can be a CSV file, it can be a text file, it can be a Excel file, and so on and so forth, right? So first approach is that whenever you get a data, you need to see whether or not the data contains the target value or not. If the data contains a target value, then you need to go with a supervised learning. If the data doesn't contain a target value, you need to go to the unsupervised learning. Okay, what exactly is the target value? Okay, what exactly is the target value? Target value is the outcome. Target value is the outcome or an answer key. Let's take this as an example. Let's see. Let's suppose in a week you are having a mathematics exam. Okay, what you will going to do is you will going to try to solve as many problems as you can, right? So what you do is you will going to take a problem statement, and you will going to try to solve that problem, right? And you will be getting an answer. Now you will be checking your answer to your answer key. You will be checking your answer to the answer key whether it's correct or not, right? Suppose you don't have an answer key, so now it will be very difficult for you to check whether your answer is correct or not, right? But in the first scenario, when you have your answer key, you can easily rectify that whether your answer is correct or not. If it is correct, then it's awesome. If it is wrong, then you can understand that you need to improve something or improve some equation, or you have to use some different approach in order to solve this problem statement to get a right answer, right? So this answer key is known as a target value. This answer key is known as a target value. Okay, at any point of the time, let's suppose your machine is predicting something, right? Obviously it will going to predict, that means it is not 100% genuine. It will not going to occur 100%, right? Now, how much confident are you or how much accurate those results are, you can only check that if you are having an answer key, right? If suppose I am providing a cat image, I am giving a cat image to a machine and I am telling the machine, hey, kindly predict what exactly is this animal, right? Now, if suppose the machine says that this is a dog, right? I know that this is a cat, but how exactly I know? I already have an answer key, that is my knowledge. Okay, with the help of that knowledge, I can easily say, no, you are wrong. This is a cat. This is a cat, and you're predicting this as a dog, right? So answer key is the outcome that tells whether your approach or whether your outcome is right or not. Okay, so whenever you are dealing with supervised machine learning, so all the time you need to have a target value. Okay, that target value is known as the outcome. If your data contains a target value, you have to go with supervised learning. If your data doesn't contain the target value, then you have to go with unsupervised learning. Okay, furthermore, supervised learning is being divided into two parts, that is known as regression and classification. Okay, we have regression and we have classification. And again, we will going to decide that whether we have to go with the regression part or we have to go with the classification part through the data. Okay, if the outcome or if the target value of that data, okay, contains the continuous data, okay, contains the continuous data, not the discrete one, then we have to go with the regression. Okay, or if your target value contains some kind of categories, then we have to go with classification. Okay, for an example, let's take a bank data. This is a bank data. It says that if a user's monthly income is 30,000, okay, and that a user, let's say, has a job, okay, and if that user, let's suppose, has a home, has a good credit score, let's say good credit score, then what we are going to do, we are going to pass the loan. Okay, for example, if the user is having, let's say, 5k as a monthly income, has a job, let's say doesn't has a home, okay, and no credit score, so the loan will be failed. Okay, so these are some of the scenarios that we are going to study. So over here, if you see, we have categories. This is the outcome. Pass and fail are the outcomes, right? And we have the category. All right, so what you can say, whatever input you are going to give, you can only have two outcomes. That means you have two categories. It could either be a pass category or it could fall in a fail category, right? If a target variable is of a categorization manner, then you have to go with the classification. If your outcome is in a form of some numbers, right, 1.2, 3.8, 6 point, so on and so forth, then you have to go with the regression module. Is this clear? Is this clear? Yes or no? Is this clear to all of you? Yes or no? Is this clear to all of you? Yes or no? Okay, perfect. Now, in regression and classification, there are different models or different algorithms. Okay, so when we talk about regression, we have linear regression, we have SVR, that is your support vector regression, then we have decision tree regressor, then we have random forest regressor, and so on and so forth. Okay, and in classification, we have different models such as logistic regression. Let's say logistic regression. Then we have KNN, that is your K nearest neighbor. Then we have SVC, that is your support vector classifier. Then we have decision tree classifier, and we have random forest classifier. We have naive Bayes as well, right? So these are some of the algorithms that it is in regression and classification. In this session, we are going to choose a single model or single algorithm Tomorrow we are going to discuss all about the theoretical concept about that algorithm, and day after tomorrow we are going to look on to the practical implementation, and we are going to create a project itself. Okay, let's talk about the unsupervised learning. In unsupervised learning, we take those data where the target value is not available, right? And the unsupervised learning is also divided into two parts, that is your clustering and association. It is your clustering and your association. Okay, now what exactly is clustering is that you make a clusters of different users. Okay, you make a cluster of different users, that which of the user will going to like to, let's suppose Amazon, right? Amazon releases a sale. Okay, Amazon will going to release a sale and will going to say that all the 99 rupees product is here, all the 199 products is here, all the 299 products is here, and all the 399 product is here, right? So if a user wants to purchase anything that is under 99, they can click on this option. Any user wants to purchase any item that is no more than 99 but below than 199, they can click on this option, so on and so forth, right? So with the help of this, let's suppose 10,000 users has purchased some items that are below 99, right? Then let's suppose 5k users has purchased something that is between 99 to 199. Then 2.5k user has purchased something that is between 199 to 299, and approximately let's suppose 0.9k user has purchased something from that is different between 299 to 399, right? So these are making a cluster. With the help of this data, the Amazon will going to understand which target audience we have to target, right? Let's suppose if we are having those users who are interested in purchasing the product that is under 99, so what will going to happen, that Amazon algorithm will going to show that user those items only which are less than 99, which are cheapest, so that there's a high chance for that user to purchase that items. Okay, so this is known as a clustering. We make a different clusters of different users to understand the behavior of users. Okay, this unsupervised learning is used in e-commerce websites such as Amazon, Flipkart, you have Alibaba, and different other website as well. Is this clear to all of you? Is this clear to all of you? Yes or no? Okay, now in clustering we have different algorithms. The famous being is k-mean clustering. K-mean clustering. Okay, with the help of k-mean clustering we find out the clusters. It helps us to understand the customer behavior, and with the help of that we can give the better product to that customer, and the customer will going to purchase it, and we are going to achieve a high end of profit. Okay, so this is the segment that helps the e-commerce website to gain a lot of profit. Okay, then we have the association, and this association is very important for the e-commerce websites. That means it tells the user that if you're purchasing something, there is a high chance that you also need to purchase this particular part as well, because most of the time user purchase this thing as well. That means if you're purchasing a laptop on Amazon, right, if you scroll a bit, you will going to get a section known as a frequently bought, right? You will going to get a section known as a frequently bought, and that will going to give you a suggestion that most of the time user who purchase this particular product also purchase this product as well, right? This gives the sensation, or this gives the sensation to the user that if I'm purchasing a laptop, then definitely I need an antivirus, right? So let me pick the antivirus as well. So in this manner the sales will going to get it in the higher, and the company will going to get profit. So that concept has been followed up by the association. Amazon and Flipkart follows association models. They use a machine learning algorithm that follows the association algos, and they have implemented in their website as well, right? The famous association models are a priori and eclipse. Okay, So there are plenty of models, there are plenty of algorithms of supervised and unsupervised learning, but these are the basic one that you should at least know in order to start with machine learning. Okay. Now the last being is the reinforcement learning. So reinforcement learning is also known as the game theory learning as well. In this, we understand we train our model in a form of a game, right? If suppose you must have played the game known as Mario, right? You must have played the game Mario, right? So when the first time we have played Mario, we never know what are the rules, how we have to hit the those enemies, and how we have to gain some powers and so on and so forth, right? As we are playing, we are learning, and the next time when we are playing the next time, it will always be better than a previous time, right? So this entire concept has been taken into account in the reinforcement learning. Over here, we try to let the model or let the machine learning algorithm to think and decide from their own self. Let them understand their scenario and let them decide what will be the best scenario to go ahead with that, right? If you want to see an example for reinforcement learning, like a decade ago, Google has introduced a game, introduced a machine known as AlphaGo, right? So that AlphaGo machine was the, you can call this as a expertise. Okay, it has the expertise to play the game Go, and it has defeated the human as well, right? So in that sector, we use the reinforcement learning. Okay. So this is all about the machine learning. What is machine learning capable of? What are the types of machine learning? Why we have to use machine learning? What are the models of machine learning? How to determine which model will be suit best to you, right? Now, tomorrow we are going to pick up one machine learning algorithm. It could either be from regression and classification. We are going to start with the theoretical concept. We're going to understand the statistics behind the model. And day after tomorrow, we are going to implement, and we're going to look on to the practical implementation, and we are going to create a small project with the help of this knowledge. And that's how we are going to conclude this entire 3 days of workshop. Okay. So that's all for today. If you have any doubt, kindly put that on the chat section. Okay. Please give me a confirmation if this is clear to all of you. Yes or no? Yes or no? Come on. Is it clear? Yes or no? Is this clear to all of you? Okay. Okay. Let's see. Okay. If you don't have any question regarding the session, we can end this entire session here itself. Okay. Same way, we are going to start with tomorrow as well. We are going to start our session around 7:30 itself, and we are going to start with the theoretical concept and so on and so forth. Okay, so that's all from my end. Thank you so much for joining in. Have a great evening, enjoy your time, and let's meet tomorrow. Till then, take care. Bye. See you all. Thank you so much. Thank you.